What's up, guys, and thanks for tuning back into Token Metrics TV. I'm your host, Forrest Pribish, Director of Research here at Token Metrics, and this is Crypto Foresights, where we're going to talk about the direction of the crypto market from a technical analysis point of view. So the first thing I want to do is, usually I actually like to look at total cryptocurrency market cap first, but today I actually want to look at Bitcoin first. And I want to draw something to your attention on this chart. We've got our logarithmic regression bands here, our green, our orange, and our red. Our red is historically our bubble regression band, meaning when we're over the red regression band, we're in a bit of a bubble. People actually think, and let me hide all of this, people tend to think that being in a bubble is very risky and a bad thing. And actually, a bubble is where a lot of the gains are actually made. Now, historically, this red regression band has been tremendous support while in a bull market, and it has preceded support on this red regression band has usually preceded a parabolic rally, as you can see here, back in 2013 and 2014. If we look at our 2016-2017 bull market rally, we can see that we had resistance at the red regression band. We found support on top of it, and then we went parabolic. In the bear market, we did take a trip to the bottom of this red regression band and got rejected, right? But now we have found support in this bull market, and I'm calling this a bull market, but in the last year or so, Bitcoin's really just chopped sideways. I call it a bull market because altcoins are where the gains have really been. And if we look at total cryptocurrency market cap, it has been a bull market. However, Bitcoin's been choppy lately. However, it has recently now found support on this red regression band for the fourth time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually in a historical context, this has been what has preceded a parabolic rally. I'm not saying that this means we are going to see a parabolic rally. What I'm saying is that the conditions for one in Bitcoin are present, as they are for altcoins. If we look at altcoin market dominance is very simply what percentage of the total cryptocurrency market cap is made up of altcoins outside or cryptocurrencies outside of Bitcoin. So we can see that measured as a percentage, this is 59.28%, meaning roughly 41% of the total cryptocurrency market cap is made up of by Bitcoin, with 59% being altcoins. If I zoom out here, you can actually see the historical context for this. And I'll move out to the weekly and see if you guys can see those candles a little bit better here. But back in 2017, when Ethereum really came on the scene, we got two big, massive rallies out of altcoin dominance. Now we saw our expanding volatility for altcoin dominance, which was very bullish. We saw an alt season that started on January of this past year, January of 2020, right? And then starting in May when Bitcoin crashed, we consolidated, and now we're breaking out of this consolidation pattern. I'm going to zoom back into the daily chart. And exactly as expected, once we broke out above this consolidation pattern, we came back down and found support on this level. And we've since bounced up again, and we're in a little bit of a correction. But overall, if we zoom out, we can see that we are actually breaking out upwards, right? Breaking out upwards above this consolidation pattern. That is incredibly bullish for altcoins. And I think we're in a situation where Bitcoin may not be the director of the market in the future. We have altcoins individually. If we just simply take a trip down to CoinGecko, Bitcoin is not the top gainer today. Bitcoin is going up a little bit, but tokens like Terra Luna, Spell, Cosmos, Curved Out, all really good tokens, by the way, Polygon, Cadena, Olympus. These projects are actually pumping quite a bit today. If we look over the last 7 days, Terra Luna is putting in all-time highs, 66%. So we are in a bit of an altcoin market, in a bit of what could be the beginning of an alt season. And I know it doesn't feel like it quite yet, despite the fact that we have broken above this, but I'll redirect your attention to what was going on in December and January of 2020, December of 2020 and January of 2021. We had this big V pattern where Bitcoin took back a lot of dominance, right? And then we sat and consolidated a little bit. We're actually seeing something very, very similar where Bitcoin took back a ton of dominance, altcoins bounced back, and now they're consolidating on what may be the precipice of a nice big altcoin rally, all right? Now, I want to go through a couple of different charts, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I'll take off of these logarithmic regression bands. I want to go through a bit of technical analysis on each of these charts for kind of the shorter term. So we've got the big picture now. Altcoins look bullish. Bitcoin finding support on this red logarithmic regression band. However, in the short term, Bitcoin's really not out of the woods yet. If we zoom into the 4-hour chart here, we see that December 4th, and I'll highlight this, December 4th, we had this big spill off, this big crash with a wick all the way down to 42K. As predicted, we consolidated around $46,000. That's the 3x margin pressure level. That's the point at which, as soon as Bitcoin's price drops below $46,000, you can't short it on 3x leverage anymore and hide your liquidation point above the all-time high. That creates the circumstances for a bounce. And that's exactly what happened. It actually happened 3 times. We did wick below $46,000 3 times, right? A couple times on the 4-hour chart in this second wave here. But support has come in. Now Bitcoin has temporarily breached the top of this downtrend line from this consolidation pattern, right? This looks fairly bullish. And I'm going to show you why I believe this is fairly bullish, because we're actually spending a lot of time up here under this downtrend line. Not only did Bitcoin temporarily breach it with a wick above it, but we're spending time loading up underneath it. If you look at the previous bounces for Bitcoin off of 46K and off of this consolidation, they were just very briefly touching this downtrend line. Just wicking up to it, not even quite getting there this time, not quite getting there that time. But now Bitcoin is making a concerted effort to try to break this downtrend line. It didn't tap it and head right back down to 46K, at least not yet. Now, absolutely it could. It could fail this. If it can't eventually break through here, it could absolutely fail and go back down to 46K. And another trip down to 46K would probably result in a trip as low as 44K. But for the time being, Bitcoin is trying to break out above this downtrend line. So when Bitcoin breaks out of this downtrend line, it's very important to pay attention to what it does when it's on the other side. Does it make support, or does it just completely fall back through? We want to see Bitcoin make support on the back of this downtrend line and test its more macro zoomed out version of the same downtrend line, right? So we have our macro downtrend line that Bitcoin will also have to get through. So it does have quite a bit of resistance. However, if it can break out above both of these downtrend lines, make support on top of them, I believe we can see it push higher. And I think the level to reclaim for Bitcoin is $60,000. And I don't think it will be reclaimed very easily, but I do think that is the level to pay attention to, because if Bitcoin can reclaim 60K, I believe it can start pushing with confidence, it can start pushing to higher highs and new all-time highs. 60K, 58 to 60K were our 2 margin pressure levels that acted as both support and resistance before we got this big spill off. So that's the price action I want to see out of Bitcoin. If we take another trip down to 46K, there's a really strong chance that 4th time's the charm, we break through it, and we head down to try to find support at 44 or 42K respectively. Now, what are the key levels for Ethereum? Ethereum has reclaimed $4,000. And I actually want to show you this chart just to give you the big picture on Ethereum. Ethereum is still looking very, very strong despite losing that 4K level for quite a bit. Right? If we zoom out to this bull market trend line, we can see that actually the best time to buy Ethereum, this bull market, has been along this trend line with opportunities to trim on the top end of this trend channel. Like we could easily draw something along these lines and just sell at the top of the channel, buy at the bottom of the channel. Well, right now we're at the bottom of the channel, and Ethereum is doing a good job of holding support down here. It's tested this trend line multiple times. It's just been riding it. And the longer it rides this, the stronger I believe that it will get and the more likely it is that we pop back up above this trend line. Let me zoom in on Ethereum for the 4-hour chart, and with all of our margin pressure levels in here. I want to show you guys the similar downtrend line. So I'll flash back really quick to the Bitcoin chart just so you know exactly which downtrend line I'm talking about. This white downtrend line is very congruent, or congruous if that's the correct word, with this white downtrend line that I've drawn on the Ethereum chart here. Right? Ethereum needs to break out of this pattern. So we had our green expanding volatility levels, with Ethereum kind of just chopping in between around above 4K and now below 4K. For the time being, Ethereum has reclaimed 4K temporarily, but just like Bitcoin needs to break through its downtrend line, so does Ethereum. I want to see Ethereum break above this downtrend line, even if it means coming back and testing 4K as support on the back of the downtrend line before moving all the way up to retest its previous all-time high, and eventually $5,300. $5,300 is the big resistance level I've got mapped out for ETH moving forwards. Now, I want to rapid fire through a couple of altcoins that I find interesting. I apologize if I don't get to your favorite ones. Near Protocol, doing a nice little bump and run. If I could fix this trend line here a little bit. Doing a nice bump and run, looking pretty bullish. It does have both a support and a resistance level at 882, right? It's now pumping above 882. And if it comes back down and finds support, I think that would be a phenomenal entry point. I think that would be a good entry point. Obviously, the best entry points would have been, on this downtrend line or at 882 already. But we are starting to see a bit of bullish sentiment come in and bullish price action come in for Near Protocol, right? We do have a couple of stray wicks here that make drawing this downtrend line a little bit more difficult. But we can see that there's been multiple bump and runs for Near Protocol, and it's trying to push higher. This is a layer one solution that a lot of people are bullish on, myself included. Mana Decentraland, looking really solid. We broke this downtrend of just continually making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We found support on our big margin pressure level at $2.95. We broke out above this downtrend line, which was very bullish. And then we made a higher high, right? A higher high right there. Now we came back down, found support on the downtrend line, again, another bullish signal, followed by a higher low, right? This was a higher low than our previous low. In fact, we've got 3 higher lows now. Although they're very close to each other, we are starting to build an uptrend channel, right? So what do we want to see out of Mana? We want to see an uptrend develop. Chopping sideways a little bit, but we do have some expanding volatility here, which again is bullish, a bullish signal. So right now we're in the middle of this pattern here. Overall, pretty bullish for Decentraland as long as Bitcoin doesn't lose its footing. Now, keep in mind that a lot of these altcoins, while some are doing well despite Bitcoin, such as Luna, which we'll go to next, some will still depend on Bitcoin holding its footing here and hopefully breaking through this downtrend, right? And if we do, and I do believe it's very likely that Bitcoin will break this downtrend line, if we do break this, a lot of alts should pump as a result, especially these alts that are already looking bullish. Speaking of looking bullish, Luna, and I'll draw the actual uptrend line here. This is a classic reversal pattern. This is exactly what we're looking to see develop on other cryptocurrencies. It's just that Luna has not cared that Bitcoin has not been doing well and that the rest of the market has not been doing well. Luna lately has been leading the market, printing new all-time highs. So we had our downtrend, and look what happened. We made our low on exactly our margin pressure level, right, which was $52.27 or $52.27 rather. We broke the downtrend line. We made support on the back of it, and we started making higher highs and higher lows. We developed this uptrend. And now, to be quite honest, Luna's a little bit overextended against this uptrend. Look at the distance here between our last touch of this uptrend, even this wick down here, and where we're at right now. I personally am in a Luna trade, and I plan to take some profits off the table at around $90, I think you could justify doing it already because Luna is a bit overextended here. It is a bit overextended here. However, I do have profit-taking levels as high as $120. So I'll personally be trimming my position here, probably in here around $100 to $105, and again at $120. However, don't be surprised if Luna does correct back down to this trend line, which could be an opportunity to grab some. All right, guys, that's all the altcoin that we have time for. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Crypto Foresights. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.